so in the aftermath of the fight from Saturday, it has been a couple of days since then now. Thankfully, no one ended up in the hospital afterwards for longer than maybe an evening, just enough to treat some bruised ribs and maybe a swollen jaw. SuperIdol bodies are built pretty tough, and they can take a lot of damage without transferring much of that over to their regular forms. Queen Bee was able to treat Karen's bee stings with some supplies from the school infirmary and got her home safely afterwards, but the club members all scattered to the wind after the fight and have not contacted each other since. It's been a couple days since then. There was a news story about the incident the next morning. There's some cell phone video online, but it's not as big a story as one might expect. This world is kind of used to collateral damage from SuperIdol fights, so there's some outcry from some of the usual anti-SuperIdol factions, as well as messages of support from people who are just concerned for the well-being of whoever these kids are. But all in all, it's not as big a blip on the radar as you would have expected it to be. And it is now Monday. It's Labor Day, so you are still off from school this day. What are you doing?
I am probably curled up on my bed, watching anime on my phone.
I think Alan is trying not to get noticed too much. They're in the room and they're working on the apology note.
Anne has mainly been kind of like working out intensely. That's kind of like her de-stressor, I feel.
Angie's been pouting in her room this whole time, listening to angry hip-hop. Maybe there's like a fighting video game that she picks up only when she feels like she wants to punch stuff.
I think I've been cooped up in my room. Probably haven't talked, probably just gone downstairs to eat breakfast, would do my thing and go straight back to my bedroom to sulk.
Yeah, of course, Jen has been super worried about you. She's tried to get you to say what's going on, but after a while it became clear that you weren't really up to talking about it, so she's kind of reluctantly let you be and just tried to make sure that you're eating at least. So I guess it's probably, what do you think, Monday afternoon, evening or so? How do you find yourself on the cusp of having to go back to school the next day?
Oh, so I'm probably back downstairs in the living room, like, just checking through my backpack, make sure I have everything ready for tomorrow. And I maybe find the piece of the photo that we had to put together for the, essentially, scavenger hunt for the club room.
You hear a soft knock on your door, and from behind the door you hear Valerie, can I come in?
Yeah.
And you hear the door kind of softly open, and you see your sister Alice peeking in from the door. She isn't quite coming in yet, but she does want to peek in on you at least.
And I think that I probably just start crying. And
your Aunt Jen walks in sort of at this moment and notices that you're basically breaking down over this piece of paper. So of course she sort of rushes to you and goes, oh, honey, oh no, what's wrong, honey? Are you okay?
Well, everything's terrible and everyone hates me.
I know I can't really change your mind much on this, but you know that no one blames you for what happened, right?
I mean, it was my fault, so obviously, if they're not blaming me, then they're wrong, and I don't know why I would want to be in a group with someone that would let such a stupid mistake pass anyway.
I don't know if I'm going to... What if I can't be an idol? What if I can't be a super idol? What if I've gone through... What if I just don't have what it takes?
It's okay. She rubs kind of the top of your head and says just sort of some cooing words. I have full faith that you absolutely can be anything that you want to be. I don't know what happened on Saturday, but I know that it's nothing that you can't overcome. I know you too well to doubt you.
So it was kind of the end of the world. We were a complete disaster, and Alan was the worst.
Oh. Yeah, I think your mom wasn't quite sure what happened, maybe found out a little bit more from the news story the next day, but knew enough to know that you were pretty shaken by it and has been trying to, like, take care of you, like, give you, like, your favorite foods and whatnot, and otherwise just kind of give you your space and give some support as she can.
Anna is very grateful for that, though also worried that told too much, and now she's gonna reconsider her support to the whole idol thing.
She would not tell any of her family what's going on, and she's got the lock on her room. She emerges to, like, get some junk food or whatever. She's a teenager, she can eat whatever she wants and gain nothing, so...
Yeah, and your parents are, like, they know your moods come and go, so they think this is just another one of those things, so they're kind of just, like, giving you a wide berth, I think, for right now.
Yeah.
I think Freddie might be trying to get in your space, but even he kind of gets it when you're, like, in a certain, like, angry kind of sullen way. Like, maybe your dad will try to, like, make a token effort to, like, reach out to his pumpkin, but he doesn't really push very much. Like, he doesn't really know how to do that kind of thing very well.
Yeah. And the trust is gone between them, so she usually doesn't talk to them at all.
She's kind of a known figure at the local, like, boxing gym where they basically had to keep replacing any, like, sandbags or boxing bag, not sandbag, any boxing bag she goes against, because she ends up doing that whole Videl and Dragon Ball Z where it ends up just bursting when she punches through a Captain America. That would have been a much better, like, and relevant reference.
Well, either one, yeah.
So she's been just a mainstay there over the last 2 days. Just, like, it doesn't really have any, like, physical effect on her because she's always just stone, unchanging, but just it's more just the physical action de-stresses her.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, just being able to, like, punch it out, basically.
True. Yeah, exactly.
Have you been envisioning anyone in particular that the punching bags stand in for, or is it just general, like, getting that physical activity out?
Sometimes it's the three idols they were facing. Rare time it's Violence Viola, and rare time, and even rare time it's Anne herself.
And you say you're writing this apology note?
Yeah, they're writing a note and just, Karen, I hurt you and I did not mean to, and I promise I will be more careful in the future, and I'm sorry. And it's really, like, they're trying to write something sincere, but just keep repeating things.
Aw. I feel like you have, like, a little wastebasket next to you that's full of a couple of, like, crumpled up apology cards.
Yes.
You said there's a care package to go with this as well. What do you think is in it?
There's 2 new light sticks. One...
those things aren't cheap, too.
Yeah, and 1 t-shirt from an idol group that I think Karen likes, and 1 small jar of cannabis-infused honey. That was quite expensive.
Oh, that's literally sweet, but also just emotionally sweet. So while you're writing this card, you hear a soft knock on the door, and you hear, Alan, are you okay? Am I okay to come in?
Yes, come in, please.
Yeah, and your mom kind of comes in behind you and sees you still at the desk. I think she might have checked in on you a little bit earlier, and she gives kind of a soft smile and gestures at the care package on the desk next to the card that you're writing. I think your friend is really going to appreciate this. I'm so proud of you for trying to do right by her.
Thank you, Mom. I hope it's gonna be okay. Like, I don't want her to hate me for that.
I don't think she will. Based on what you've told me about her, she seems certainly like the forgiving type. I mean, you've always described her as being quite easygoing, I think.
Yeah, she's really, really chill.
I'm more worried about her medical condition. I'm very glad you were able to treat her as quickly as you could. I guess those first aid courses certainly did not go to waste.
Yeah, they really insisted to let us work with the bees to, like, that we know what to do.
Yes, I suppose, we can thank Professor Phillips for that as well.
Yeah, of course, I'll thank him.
he may not know exactly what caused his bees to swarm out and sting a person multiple times, but I think he probably will need some support after the fact.
Yeah, I really don't want this to happen.
I don't think anybody would have, necessarily, and you're certainly doing as much as you can to make it right.
Yeah, I'll try and help out Professor Phillips too.
Mm-hmm. And she gives you a little, like, puts her hands on your shoulders and gives you a little squeeze and, like, a mum kiss on the head.
Thanks, Mom.
You've always been so responsible.
I just don't feel very responsible, but thank you.
I understand that. And I do hope that you're able to, well, I suppose, control these powers of yours a little better in the future, but you're still learning. It's very new. I understand that, and I know that you're a good learner.
I thought I did. I didn't use the bees the whole time because I thought I wasn't gonna use them. I just Anne almost fell on me, and I panicked, and they just swarmed out.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand. I'm not sure I would have done much better if I was in the same situation, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but you're not an idol. Like, I'm supposed to be able to do these things.
Alice sighs a bit at this and pushes the door open a bit more and takes a few more steps inside. Oh, I don't like hearing you talk like this. I know it feels cruddy to have experienced something like that. I know I can't even imagine. But honestly, the superpowers thing, like, no one really knows how that all works. Like, do you really think that because you don't know specifically how to control this yet, that you are somehow, like, specially, like, inept at it?
Maybe. I wasn't supposed to have this power anyway. Maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe I didn't get any powers because I shouldn't have them, because I'm just gonna hurt people, because I was never gonna be an idol, and
Oh, and that she comes to give you, like, a hug. That sounds like a crying on a shoulder moment.
But it's all over. The videos are all over Twitter. That was our first battle, and we essentially wiped ourselves out.
Oh, I see. I wondered if when I heard some rumblings about something that had happened at the school. I didn't want to pry much, but oh, I see. So did you have some kind of altercation with somebody then?
Yeah. This other group, I don't know. They seem to know the rest of our group, Val and Queen Bee. I thought it was just a friendly thing, but they seem to be like. So they challenged us to battle them, and I got stung. Karen got stung. Knives were falling from the sky.
Oh goodness! I completely. Well, maybe I don't completely understand, but I certainly know what goes on in this city, and there's been a lot of rough stuff, let's say.
If we couldn't even handle that, how are we supposed to handle the actual big leagues? How are we supposed to get to the level of, like, the Boom Boom Bros?
And she kind of gives, like, a soothing back rub, like the kind that she would give when you were both growing up. This is sort of a familiar thing for both of you.
I just kind of accept it and cry on her shoulder.
I know it's. I don't even really know what to say, but I do know that even though it does suck to know that you've hurt someone with your powers, I don't think that means that you don't deserve them, or that you should never have had them, or that you are a particularly bad fit for them. I know you wouldn't remember this. You were too young. Heck, I barely remember it. I was a little kid back then, but back when all the superpower stuff was just being discovered, it was a nightmare. So many people who got powers at first were young, up-and-coming musicians, teens, college students, pop starlets. It was a whole world full of confused young people who not only don't have a handle on how the world was working yet, but they could set things on fire with their minds and lift cars and fizzle people out of existence. It was real rough for a while there. Even being that young, I could tell. So, I don't know. I guess the point is, I really don't blame you for things getting out of hand. The world is still kind of in its infancy about all of this. No one knows everything about how powers work or how people use them or why people get them. It seemed like a lot of people were a pretty bad fit for their powers, even the people who, like, just got them, like, normally. So, I don't think you're to blame for not knowing just about as much as everybody else doesn't know.
I guess at least I didn't make anything explode.
Yeah, like, and at least everything was inside that bubble. I guess those dinguses thought ahead, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think you're new at this. I think you're still young. I think a lot of people hurt a lot of people when they're young, whether they have powers or not. It's just gonna happen. I know I have before.
Thanks.
And you're still allowed to feel like you're in the pits about it. Like, I don't want to force you to lighten up or say, like, get over it or anything. But I do want you to not feel like you're like a monster or like you don't deserve what you've been given.
Okay. I mean, okay. I still don't know how I'm gonna. You know, I thought that I've practiced and I could go in and I would be in charge and everyone would see that I should be at the front, and I got my chance and I blew it. So
I think you're gonna have lots of chances, though. Like I said, I think the world is kind of prepared for this at this point. There's lots of ways to protect people if things go wrong. There's and people kind of understand that this kind of thing happens. I think this isn't gonna wreck things for you immediately. I think, at least.
And I kind of pull back and wipe away my tears a little bit, and I say, well, at least it sounds like Evangeline messed up too, so she can't hold that over me.
I think she really did feel like she was the leader of this group, and she feels like she failed pretty significantly, even though maybe to the outside rational adult observer, this was a case where some teenagers were put in a situation that they completely weren't prepared for at all, and suffered because of that. But she feels like it's a personal failing, that she's failed as a leader. And that being said, I don't think I know she doesn't regret punching them and beating them up. Yeah, I think to her that was justified, considering the situation.
Yeah, and especially since nobody ended up like laid up in the hospital for very long.
Yeah,
it's the least they deserved.
Yeah, thankfully. And it was mostly because of what happened to Karen, I think, was why she felt that was justified. Yeah, so yeah, no, that's where she's at. She is relieved that it didn't go viral in that kind of way, because they're both kind of unknown school performers.
Yeah, like you have a couple of like the standard like remix things that come out on like IdleTube after the fact, like the explosion set to like an auto-tune thing or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But nothing like huge viral.
Yeah, and she goes out of her way to avoid them. It's not something that she'd like to dredge up. I think for her it's that even though it's very obvious that she's an intense person, she probably thinks that she has a level head about things as a leader, and definitely did not react in a leadership kind of way that day, just in general.
Of course you were caught off guard. Nobody would expect you to be amazing right out the gate, but all things considered, you're all still standing, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine I probably would have heard a lot more about it if it was something that had been truly disastrous for any of the parties involved.
Yeah, I think Karen probably came out worse. She got stung a lot.
Do you know, have you heard from her at all? Do you know if she's doing okay?
I think she's doing okay. Queen Bee helped with her stings.
Oh, that's good. Well, if I know anything about what you've told me about Queen Bee, it sounds like that would be the person to take care of that kind of thing for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I understand it being difficult. It is going to be... I don't want to give too many illusions. It is going to be rough, even in the high school version of whatever the super idol industry is right now. But I wouldn't have... I'll tell you right now, I would not have welcomed you into my home for this if I did not believe that you could handle this.
I think at the moment Jaiden looks up at Jen and his eyes just like well up like anime style.
Oh.
you really?
Absolutely. I know you've been working at this since you were, 7? You've already been preparing for this your whole life. You've got a way bigger head start on this than a lot of people who jump into this with just nary a care in the world, it seems.
I think so. He just like gives a determined nod and tries to wipe his eyes. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying. I want to do you proud.
I think you will. And I know you will. And actually, she motions for you to stand up for a second. Actually, there's something I would like to give you, if you'll allow that.
Yeah, of course. What is it?
And she kind of gives you the, come here finger and motions for you to follow her. She takes you downstairs into the basement and points to sort of like a door that's used for storage that you haven't really explored much. And she opens the door and goes into sort of the back of the room and pulls a couple things aside and then pulls out what looks like a big, long case with a suspiciously guitar-like shape.
Oh my god, okay.
I was gonna save this for your birthday, but I think you might just need this sooner than that.
Oh my god. He's gonna rush over to the case.
Yeah, it's actually a really eye-catching case too. It's like this like electric blue case, and when you open it up, which I'm sure you're probably gonna open it up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The guitar inside is this beautiful, beautiful electric guitar. Insert prestigious brand name here that the GM totally knows the name of. And it has this flashy, eye-catching design of a blue lightning bolt splashed across the front of it. And she says, "This hasn't come out of this case in a long time, but I think I know exactly who deserves this."
Me?
No, Santa Claus. Yes, of course you!
Wait, was this yours?
And she gives you a bit of a grin. I said I didn't have a lot of experience, but let's just say I had a bit of a wild side when I was younger.
No way! Wait. And he's gonna pull out the guitar and just hand it to her. Can you play something?
Yeah. I guess you've put me on the spot now. I guess it's only fair. And of course it doesn't sound like much because it's not hooked up to anything, but she takes the guitar and sort of slings it over her shoulder with a surprising ease that you I guess wouldn't have expected before, but now makes sense. And she plays something. She actually plays a Boom Boom Brothers song for you, at least the riff from one of your favorite songs for you. And it's not like perfect because clearly she's a little bit rusty, but her fingering is still pretty decent. And she is able to, like, the song is recognizable even despite the lack of amplification. That sounds pretty good.
Jaiden is applauding like he's at a live concert. That was... How did I not know?
It's a long story, and one that I'm not really at liberty to tell much of, unfortunately. But I will say, I think those days are behind me, and I think this is... She slings it up over her head again and gives it back in your direction. This is definitely more suited for someone whose days are still ahead of them.
And yet he takes it, sends it over his head, and just like strums it a little bit.
That's a beautiful little sound.
I can't wait to show everyone else.
I know that you have your own, like, your powers can conjure things, but I think having this to practice with without having to go full power mode, I think will help you a lot. And yeah, even so, there's something about the analog ways that I still trust a little bit more than these newfangled super ways, whatever they are.
I'd say I disagree, but I really don't. This is so much cooler. And he's just gonna, like, kind of move the guitar to the side and just hug Jen.
Aw. You get a big hug for sure.
Alicia, I need to show Alicia.
Yes, you absolutely should. I'm sure she's dying to hear about your first week of school, too.
Oh boy, I hope she doesn't worry. I don't know how much of the story I should tell her.
I trust you to tell enough. I think she's got a pretty good head on her shoulders. She can take a decent amount, but I think you know where to toe the line.
Yeah. I wonder how she's doing, actually. And Mum and Dad.
Yeah, last I heard, they were doing pretty all right. Busy as always, I'm sure, but no complaints that I've heard anyway.
Oh, I'll admit, I miss them a little bit.
Well, thank goodness for Skype, I suppose.
Yeah, I want to see if I can call.
And certainly occasionally you've been in contact with Drew, your best friend. And on this Monday evening, just before you have to go back to school the next day, you find yourselves in a place that you know pretty well. You're in the, as all good superhero cities do, you're in the abandoned warehouse district. And you find yourselves on the roof of one of the particular warehouses that has like a nice, like, easy ladder you can use to get up to the roof. And you're up there with a nice stash of, like, bottles and other pieces of, like, garbage and a couple of, like, aluminum baseball bats up there. And one of your favorite pastimes is to just hit the shit out of a bunch of garbage to work out your feelings.
Yeah, that is exactly like, she just let like message Drew, like, smash and shit, wanna come.
You know it, he texts back with all lowercase letters and, like, just the letter U for you. Yeah, so you meet Drew there in the later evening there. He knows the spot, so as you climb the ladder up to the warehouse, you find him up there, leaning against the whatever structure is up there on top of the roof and kind of just hefting one of the baseball bats in his hand. It's like, hey, big girl, what's up?
A lot, which is why we're going to be sending a lot of shit shattering today, and yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Well, you know I'm always down for some shit shattering. He gives the bat a little, like, hit in his palm there. Shall we get to it?
She just cracks her knuckles, which, like, they make an odd grinding sound from the stone. You know it?
Yeah, so he sets up, like, a couple of prime beer bottles up on the edge of the roof there, just ready for hitting. And as he's setting them up, he says, so, I haven't heard much from you since the start of the weekend. Is anything up?
Just a added character question. Would the news be known to Anne? Like the fact you mentioned earlier, that was kind of some small news stuff about it.
Yeah, the video's out there. There is news. It's certainly not out of the realm that Drew would have heard about it. In fact, you kind of get the sense from the way that he's looking at you that maybe maybe he knows a little bit more than he lets on. This might be more of a like letting you talk about it kind of thing more than a like genuinely what happened kind of thing.
Anne is just like looking at her own bat, like just kind of like trying to stare at it and not Drew, and goes, "What's there to talk about? Made a mistake, got too close to people, things got fucked. Now I'm here with the only person who hasn't fucking let me down."
And he kind of frowns at that, like, wait, no, okay. He shakes his head, is like, okay, we're not doing the bit. You know that I know, that you know that I know. I saw the thing. I figured that's what you wanted to talk about. That's plenty enough to want to, like, hit some shit over. But the mistake wasn't that you got close to people. What are you talking about?
And just, like, looks at Drew, like, finally taking her eyes away from the bat, and goes, "Look, you saw what happened, I saw what happened. Hell, I was part of it. Everything went to shit. People got hurt. And she kind of just, like, just does that, you know, that thing where you just hear her screaming with her hands to your side, like, and she's still holding the bat as she does it.
Yeah. And Drew kind of shrugs and goes, like, yeah, like, fuck, that sucks, but, like, shit happens, right? This is, like, the whole, like, super whatever the fuck. That stuff, like, is dangerous. That stuff happens. Like, whatever. You just don't fuck up next time, right?
Look, and Anne, like, kind of leans down, sort of facing eye to eye, and goes, "The thing is, I can trust myself. I know what I'll fuck up with and what I won't fuck up with. I know what I'm getting with me. I know I'm getting with you, because I know you, but other people, they're just so chaotic, that's the word." And she's like, kind of like, you can tell, like, for a second she was trying to think of what the word was. "I don't know what they think, I don't know how they act, and I thought they were cool, and then that girl just went fucking buck wild and started throwing those other girls to the ground, and Jesus, fuck, yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say, like, that's scary shit, like, even for, like, you. That was, even just on the video, I could tell it was, like, intense, but, I don't know, like, do you get the sense that she's, like, a bad person or anything, or did she just fuck up too? Look, everyone's used to thinking, like, that I'm the person who does that shit, because, well, it's kind of like, her eyes are down to, like, her entire body. Look at me, I'm like, I'm literally a brick shit house. And it gets really annoying, because every day I have to hold back from stupid words that people say to me, from stupid shit people do to me. I have to hold back so I don't do that shit, and when I saw her doing that, I'm just remind me how easy it is to lose control, and God, I wanted to do that, you know. I don't know if I was mad at her because I was jealous that I didn't do it or that she did it.
Alright, I get that. I know it's kind of frustrating to, like, when you put so much effort into, like, trying to hold back and, like, not hurt people or make yourself more appealing to, like, the normies or whatever, and then you see someone just, like, it's like that the fucking Princess Daisy meme, you know, the one where it's like, do you ever get tired of being nice? You ever just want to go ape shit? I can understand. Yeah. It feels like that. It feels like it almost feels like it's not fair, doesn't it?
Yeah, that really sums it up, doesn't it, Drew?
Yeah.
Not fair.
Yeah, it's not, and it sucks that she couldn't hold back and not hurt those kids. But like I said, you fucked up, I've fucked up. Sounds like whoever this girl is has fucked up. I'm pretty sure, like, she hasn't tried to, like, call you or text you or anything since then, I'm guessing, right?
No, but I can't really judge them for that, because my phone, besides when I texted you, it's been fucking silent as the grave.
Well, and he kind of shrugs again, like, what do you want to bet that everyone else is feeling, like, just as big a sack of shit right now. Like, I don't think anybody feels good about that. I would guess, I don't know them, but I would bet that, like, everybody's just feeling kind of weird right now, and probably not, like, I don't know, resentful or anything, just, like, confused, hurt, stuff. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. God. And he, like, swings the bat at one of the bottles and, like, sends it clear across one of the other warehouses, and you hear, like, a shatter over on one of the other side roads. He says, I don't know, the point being is it's not your fucking fault. It's not, well, it kind of is everybody's fault, but it kind of isn't. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel like it's not your fault for trying to make friends, and it's not theirs for trying to be a group with you as well, either.
I'm getting real annoyed when I come out here to be an irrational bitch and you act all mature and logical.
Oh no, my mother would be so disappointed in me. He, like, knocks another, like, piece of trash off the side of the building.
What would Natalie think? And that's just me on the spot coming over the fact that his mother's name is Natalie.
Yeah. It's getting kind of late in the day. I feel like by this point you've got school looming on Tuesday, and you're feeling a little bit restless probably, and just sitting around feels like not quite enough. So
yeah,
what do you think you're gonna do to address that?
I'm gonna go out, and I'm probably gonna want to dance for a bit, just in a place that I feel safe doing it, where nobody else is really watching. So I'll say that there's this room in the warehouse district near where there's a warehouse where there's some underground dance battles that go on.
Oh, absolutely, and there are.
Yeah, and she's been there before. That's how she unlocked her powers, actually. She was dance battling and unlocked some stuff, but she goes there with her good friend Kyle, who has taught her a lot about hip-hop. But there's a practice room that the two of them go there, so she would probably go there for a bit to kind of burn off all of the restless energy she's feeling. And then there's a park nearby, so she would do that afterwards, would be her most likely.
Yeah, so you head to the warehouse district, you go into the practice room, and you just, like, you dance your heart out like no one's watching, because literally no one is watching. You, like, there's a lot of, like, very powerful, like, leg and arm motions. There's probably some sort of breakdancing moves, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Do you think you would be transformed to do this, or, like, just as you?
I think it would just be as her. I don't think she would feel good transforming right now.
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I wasn't sure there for a second. I was like, wait a minnot, no. I was gonna say you might have, like, even, like, cracked, like, a floor or something like you did a long time ago, but not in that form. No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, no, I feel like she feels both proud and not proud of herself, of how she performed when she was transformed, like, in front of an audience. I guess that was also kind of the first time they were in front of an audience, now that I think of it. Because the other time, other than Vivi or Valerie, she never really performed in front of people with her powers in that kind of way.
Yeah,
like it's not like the usual dance recital, you know?
Yeah, like, even when you performed for, like, Jaiden and Ann and all of them when they first arrived, I don't know if you necessarily demonstrated your powers in that instance, just the dance abilities, most likely.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's no way for her to be like, yeah, I break stuff, I'm gonna break the floor. So,
you did, like, your fireworks, maybe, that was about it.
Yeah, so she has that visual stuff. But yeah, otherwise, her strength is her dancing. Like, that's kind of where she gets all of her, or I guess that's probably how she feels, is that this is the thing that she's grown up with, that she knows, and she feels comfortable practicing, just the way that she always used to.
I think it's time to maybe get out of the house.
Sounds good. All right, so you actually have a little bit of a ways to go to get to Karen's house. You did, like I said, you did take her there. She directed you to where she lives after the fact. And it is a decent ways away from the school, like just inside the boundaries of the school district. It's in kind of a suburb, kind of on the edge of town, so it takes a little bit to get there. You may need to, like, take your bike or, like, travel partway as Queen Bee or whatever you think would work best.
I think the bike would be best.
All right, so you head out to the suburb. You get to sort of the end of her street. She sort of lives in a house. She lives in a basement suite underneath a larger house in this one neighborhood. So to get there, you have to head around the side of the house and go to the side door. And there is its own sort of bell there that you can ring.
Oh, okay. So I'll just put on the visibility jacket for the delivery service and ring on the doorbell.
All right. After a few moments, you start to hear from the inside. You hear some footsteps coming up stairs from behind the door. The door opens, and there stands Karen. She definitely looks a little better than the last time you saw her. She looks very well rested. She's certainly still covered in kind of blotchy marks, but they're covered quite liberally with blotches of calamine lotion. It's pretty clear she's been taking care of herself. So she actually even still has a smile on her face as she answers the door and says, "Yes."
Hi. I've got a package for Karen.
Wasn't expecting a package.
It's not an internal order. It's from someone else. But I'm sorry, it's redacted.
How interesting. And she sort of like reaches a hand out, like, "Can I see that card,
please?"
And she takes the card from the package, and she just sort of snatches it and starts reading it in front of you. And she looks it over and she reads it, and she smiles even a little bit more than she was. She smiles very warmly, and she says, I see who this is." And she looks to you and says, "Did you happen to meet the person who sent this for delivery?"
No, I'm sorry. It's all digital. It's through the app.
That's a shame. I wish I could tell her just how thoughtful this is and how much I appreciate it.
Oh, I hope you get the chance. So,
as she takes the rest of the package from you, she actually kind of like reaches to grab your hand a bit before you turn away, and she says, "I have an extra bit of tea on the kettle downstairs. You seem like you've come a long way. Did you want to have some tea?"
Maybe just a cup, just something quick. I'm on the clock, but yeah, a little bit. Thank you.
Don't worry, we'll get you fixed up. I make a mean chamomile. And she leads you down the stairs into her basement suite. This actually, from the door, is just a straight shot down a stairwell. There's no access way to the upstairs from here. It just goes straight in. And once you're at the bottom of the stairs and into the suite, it is actually quite spacious as basement suites go. And you're standing in a living room that is, let's say, a media nerd's dream. She has a very impressive multi-monitor computer rig set up in the living room. There is a big flat screen TV. She has a ton of different game consoles from multiple generations. There's a bunch of fun art on her walls, paintings and prints in a variety of different styles. Just like a very, like, kind of impressive living room setup.
Wow, this is amazing.
Thanks, I try to keep the place nice.
You did all of this?
Kinda had to. And she kind of leads you through the room towards the kitchen, which is a little bit smaller, but no less nice. There's a little bit of, since it's a basement, there's not as much light as there would be in an upstairs suite, but there is a nice little window where some sunlight can stream in. And she's got the kettle on, just like she said. So she opens up her cupboards and she pulls down a couple of mugs that are very cutely color coordinated in the colors of some of her favorite idol groups.
Oh, you're a really stylish person.
People may not know that about me, but I do like to cultivate a sense of style for myself on my own time.
That's cool. It's really cool.
And she gets the kettle going and gets some tea bags for the cups. So, I didn't catch your name, by the way. What can I call you?
Well, I'm Alan. We go together for McNally.
And she puts a finger to her chin and thinks for a moment and then makes like that, oh, kind of face. Yes, I think I've seen you outside, back where the bee colonies, the compost is. That's right, yes?
Yes, I work with Professor Phillips. We do a lot of composting, and sometimes we clean up the grounds after a game.
You know what they say? If it ain't green, it ain't clean.
Yes.
She kind of stares off into space a bit and smiles.
So yeah, we didn't really talk much, but I know you, and I heard you what happened the other day.
Oh yes, you can kind of tell, can't you? And she gestures to the blotches of calamine lotion on her face.
It's looking good. It seems good. I mean, I've seen a lot of these things, and they're healing nicely.
She nods. Yeah, it's thankfully it looked a lot worse than it was. I think a lot of those bees didn't feel up to giving up their stingers. It was just kind of chaotic more than anything else.
Yeah, like those idle things kind of are like that, right? They just can go crazy at a moment notice. Just fire and explosions and...
Oh, you don't know the half of it. I've been in the idol club at the school for a few years now. Our club has always been a little low-key, but certainly has been involved with some aggressive adversaries, let's say.
With that stuff like that happened before?
Oh, yes. We try to keep it to ourselves mainly, but it's just part of the idol thing that has been for almost 2 decades now, it seems like.
It's just strange to imagine like you or Amberlee in like with explosions and lasers.
Oh, you should have seen her too. And she looks very wistful as you mention Amberlee's name. I don't know if you ever saw her perform, but when she got up on a stage, she was literally radiant. Her powers were based on sunlight, and, well, she laughs. I guess they still are. But she wasn't the best at accepting the nature of what idols are like outside of her bubble.
Can't be easy. I mean, like, you think it's just gonna be dancing and being awesome and just having these powers, and then it just hits you that they're real.
Yeah, I don't think the world has really accepted that yet. It's been, 15 years since the first time these powers started appearing? And as far as I've been told, nobody was really ready for them back then either, it seems like. And I don't think anyone even knows the half of it, so in terms of what they're really capable of.
They're still pretty cool, though.
She grins. Why do you think I'm still in this club? I may not have powers of my own, but I'm a big supporter of anyone who takes the risk that comes with it and still tries to bring smiles to people's faces.
Very nice way to put it.
Thanks. I like to think of myself as a poet of sorts.
I'm pretty glad to see you're doing better.
I guess, yes, you could probably imagine what I might have looked like before.
Yes, I mean, I've been told that you... Okay, there's some videos online, I friend linked it. Looks scary.
Yeah. It's all over. Yeah, it's all over. IdleTube and IdleGram, I know. I've had far too many trolls trying to make fun of me, but that's how it goes with, well, the internet as well.
It's awful, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. I know how to... I have... she points to her stings. I have a pretty thick skin, let's say.
I think I'm gonna go back to watching anime for a bit, but thanks, Alice.
Yeah, no worries. I'll come in when it's lunchtime. I've got some mean grilled cheeses coming. Just you wait.
Okay, thanks.
And she gives you another hug as she leaves and then she leaves you to your anime watching.
All right.
And then, how much longer do you feel you would be laying in bed watching anime?
Probably like another 15 minutes before getting bored of it at that point. For spending like 2 days doing nothing but that.
Did you get to the end of a good season at least?
No, it's probably just a 100-episode show that's full of filler.
Fair enough. And what do you think you do after you set your phone down?
I think I go to my closet and I just start, like, laying out an outfit for the next day, and then leave my room and get a glass of water and just sort of wander around the house without talking to anyone in particular.
Mm-hmm. And you get a few, like, sympathetic looks and words from your parents as well. They know that something happened, and they generally kind of know what it was because it is on the news, but they know that you're not really up to talking about it at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I think they also, like, trust that this is something I talk to Alice about, this kind of thing, and that if it were something they really needed to intervene in, that she would tell them.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely do notice that the pantry, when you go to get some things like water and whatnot, you notice that there are extras of your favorite snacks in the pantry.
Aw. And
then after this, is there anything else that you do with the rest of your day, or what do you think?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think it's kind of the past the tantrum stage to the sort of emotional recovery stage of the breakdown.
That makes sense. All right, so you're doing your sort of emotional puttering around, more or less. You spent the afternoon kind of just doing exactly what you said, and then later in the afternoon, your phone actually starts to ring at some point, and you recognize the caller ID. It says, Rain, Mary.
I'll take it to my room.
Okay. So Jen kind of like lets you go up to your room and take the case and the guitar with you. I can't remember. Did we say you had like a keyboard or something up there as well already?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting like a whole little suite going here. Just wait, we'll get you a drum set one of these days.
Yes, please.
All right, so you take your stuff up to your room, you get settled, and you get out your phone and you dial that familiar number.
And I think like I kind of set up my phone on the desk.
Oh yeah.
So it's like standing up, and when Alicia answers, I'm not in frame, and then I kind of just poke my head in frame. Hey,
hey, and she's like lighting up like a Christmas display, like. Jaiden, hi, why didn't you call sooner? Oh my god, you gotta tell me everything.
I'm so sorry, I got really busy. I had to do a lot of catching up because I missed a few days, but yes, that's why I'm calling actually, because I had the wildest day today.
Oh, tell me all about it.
Well, I had my first Super Idol kind of battle. Well, not today, it was a couple of days ago now actually.
Are you kidding? Already? That's so cool.
It was, and we didn't win, but that's okay because failure is just the first step to success, right?
Right. And she does look a little disappointed that her big brother didn't win, but she's not mad at least. She's more like, aw. Well, you're going to show him next time, that's for sure. I know my big brother is going to be the best super idol anyone's ever known.
Oh, if Jaiden could blush, he'd definitely be blushing right now. You bet I am. I'm going to make sure I do you proud.
They probably cheated, too. However super idols can cheat. I'll
admit, it was more at our end.
Oh, and she looks interested at that, like... big old 7-year-old eyebrow raise.
We haven't really... It was our first bout as a group, so I guess our powers hadn't really... We weren't great at cooperating with each other just yet, I think.
Are you fighting with your bandmates?
No. I haven't talked to them in a while, a couple of days now. But we're not fighting. I think we just need our space, I guess.
I guess? And she looks confused. I guess I'd want to talk to someone to make it easier. I mean, I'm glad that you called me. I've been waiting for you to call.
I'm sorry it took so long. I'll admit, I kind of spent a couple of days sulking.
Oh, and she looks unimpressed, like...
I know, I'm over it now, though.
That's good. That's
ready to give another try. I'll make sure to give you updates a lot more frequently this time.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh, speaking of updates, and then I poked my guitar into frame as well. Look what I got.
Oh, what is that? Where did you get that?
Jen, she gave it to me. Apparently, she used to play.
Really? And she, has that mind-blowing, wild-eyed look like, whoa, that's so cool.
That's what I said.
Mom and Dad never told me.
They never told me either.
Does she have, is she, a secret celebrity or something?
I'll be honest, that's what I'm wondering as well. But I asked her for some details, but she said she wasn't at liberty to say. So I kind of think it has to do with Mum and Dad as well. So, do you think you can get some info out of them?
Oh, I'm not gonna stop bugging them till they do. Don't worry.
Okay. And I'm gonna try and... I probably shouldn't bug Jen, because she does have a lot of work to deal with, but I'm gonna keep asking her persistently until she tells me.
That's what little sisters are for. She's looking very devious and looking over her shoulder. Back to where your parents, you can see them across the kitchen, actually, and they're they can't really hear everything that's being said, but they're raising their eyebrows at the look that Alicia is giving them.
I would give, if I can catch their eye, I'd give them a little wave.
And they wave back. They know that this is your call with your sister. They know they'll probably get a call from you directly at some point.
Oh, okay, hold on. Do you want me to play you something?
When would that answer ever be no?
I know. I just wanted to make sure. I don't know if he had plans after. Okay, here we go. And he just kind of he tries to play the Boom Boom Bros song that Jen played earlier. It's probably not as good as Jen's because I don't think he's that used to playing the guitar.
Mm.
But he just slowly goes through the notes trying to get through it.
That's more than enough for Alicia. She recognizes the song. She starts bobbing her head. She mimes a microphone and starts singing along with the parts that you're playing.
Okay, could I, while I'm doing this, could I transform?
If you want to, sure.
Because it kind of reminds me of how I first transformed, just us messing around, probably singing and dancing to this exact same song.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, okay. See, I think while he's strumming, the whole transformation sequence happens where the kind of a gentle breeze starts to go around the room and it starts to pick up again faster and faster, whips up some dirt, and then mini tornadoes he's in, just catches a flame and is suddenly doused by a sudden shower of water. And then as the steam fades, he's in his idol costume. And I think I'm gonna raise mundane.
Oh, sure.
Because I feel like trying to impress his sister is probably a mundane thing.
Probably, yeah. I would say either mundane or savior, whichever you'd prefer.
Ooh. I think I'll go with savior then.
Sure.
Yeah. And superior, I guess, would go down because he's definitely trying to provoke anything.
He's not trying to prove anything, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, in general, I think I'm starting to use Savior as the music-related stat. It doesn't fit perfectly, but...
Yeah, no, I think that works, honestly, yeah. And yeah, I think as he transforms, he probably starts getting a little bit more comfortable with the strumming of the guitar. He definitely needs to fix the whole not having an amplifier thing. But yeah, he just keeps playing for her. Just for however long she seems to stay interested, honestly.
Yeah, if you want, since we know your powers can create instrument stuff, you could, like, summon an amplifier and it, like, comes to, like, life, like, with the sound of the guitar during that.
Oh my god, yes, okay, yes.
To bring full body to the sound.
Yes, I think right after the transformation, like, I don't know how to do this without destroying the ground. I think he can just materialize rock.
Yeah, sure.
And he kind of just materialize rock, and that's in the shape of amplifier, and it seems to just work as amplifier as well.
Absolutely will allow that. Alright, so you create this amplifier with the base of stone. Sorry, did you say the whole thing is made out of stone?
Probably not the whole thing, just the majority of it, just to keep the theme, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, so you materialize this, like, seemingly carved from earth and stone and whatnot amplifier that sort of hooks itself up to the guitar, and the sound of the song, like, enriches the room. It reverberates through the walls and across the connection of your phone, of course. And as you finish up this riff and the elements start to calm themselves a little bit afterwards, you get that pose at the end with, like, your eyes kind of, like, closed, like, taking a breath afterward. And when you open your eyes, you see Alicia just, like, applauding and screaming, like, oh my god, Jaiden, that was the coolest thing!
Thank you. I think Jaiden is like, he can't stop smiling. I think seeing his sister so excited it's probably one of the other reasons why he's doing this. So yeah, he's smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, and she says, I don't know how you lost before, but you're absolutely never gonna lose again. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
As you finish up in the room, you're panting, you're sweating. You've been doing this for maybe at least an hour or two at this point. You hear from the door, you hear kind of an echoey slow clap, and standing in the door is Kyle Mitchell, speak of the devil. And what can you describe Kyle for us, because he has a very interesting look, if I remember correctly.
Yes. For those BTS listeners out there, I modeled his personal style after J-Hope from BTS, and it's a lot of, there's no polite way to say it. Sometimes it's like tacky kind of hip-hop wear, so there's a lot of bright colors, a lot of big shoes with like really big soles, like Balenciaga he's a big fan of those, but also like, the kind of like raver jewelry, so like kind of big rings and stuff like that are kind of colorful, and stickers on his nails and stuff like that, and
nice, kind of like California bleached highlights in his hair, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess I get the California vibe when I thought of him originally. Mm-hmm. Was just so, and a lot of like, there's always something neon for some reason that he's wearing. So either there's like a belt that's really bright for some reason, or just like the print on his shirt, but he seems really attracted to bright colors in general.
Yeah, like the first thing you see when you turn around is you catch that familiar, like, flash of neon green and pink on a belt or something like that, and a like a splashed like graffiti style graphic print t-shirt, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And he gives you the slow clap, and it's like, didn't think I'd see you around here. I haven't seen you lately, bruh. What's up? That was awesome.
Sorry.
Just keeping with that surfer aesthetic.
Yeah. No, I totally feel it. I totally feel it. I'm trying to think, like, maybe there's this makeshift mirror that's in the room, so that, you can watch your technique and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe they just happened to find one in the warehouse area somewhere that was, like, near the trash bin, and they're like, oh, we'll use this. And that's what they use to practice in this room, is to just so that they can watch their own technique, because that really helps when you're you're dancing.
So maybe you don't even have to turn around to see Kyle. You see his reflection in the mirror behind you.
Yeah. I kind of feel like she looks up, like it's probably one of those moments where the song finished and she's panting all tired, and she looks up after she hears the claps. And she kind of laughs a bit, and she says, well, I've been busy.
Yeah, I guess you're just, like, starting school and stuff right now, right? Me too. Like, down at the whatever place I go to. Who cares?
Yeah, over there.
Fort McDougal, whatever it is.
Fort McDougal. Yeah, and I joined the Idol Club.
Righteous. That's awesome. Well, no wonder I haven't seen you around. You must be preparing lots of cool stuff for that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in, like, the time frame of the game, it really has only been, like, a week, right?
Yeah, it's been about just under a week even.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
started
the first
maybe
weekend.
Like Tuesday this past week.
Yeah, so it feels like for much longer in terms. But yeah, so it hasn't been very long, so it probably would have been the first time they saw each other after school started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and she said, yeah, I'm the co-president. She does, like, a little pose. But I feel like she says it in a way that maybe tips him off that she's not feeling as proud of that as you would normally.
Yeah, I think he picks up on that. He quirks an eyebrow up and he's like, hang on, I need to get into this weird headspace to do this voice. So he's like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome? ? You don't seem super psyched.
And she, there's this thing the dancers do sometimes after they're done dancing, but they kind of collapse on the ground in the star position. And she was like, I fucked up so bad.
It looked pretty good to me. You finished in a pretty good pose. I don't... Or is this something else?
No, Kyle, the president thing.
Wait, so it's only been like what, like three days? How did something fuck up already? That's kind of impressive, if I'm being honest.
So she, like, rolls her head over dramatically to look at him, and she was like, well, have I got a story for you? And then she does, like, a little twist thing and jumps back up, and it looks cool or whatever.
Yeah, and he gives you a little, like in solitary, kind of like a shoulder wave kind of thing.
Yeah.
What is it, like a popping and locking kind of thing?
Yeah. No, I got what you meant.
Yeah. But then he gives you one of those and sort of strides into the room. He's like, tell me more, I'm all ears.
5 minutes later.
All right, I love scavenger hunts.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
But then it turned out that Diana is from another school because her own... I know!
This is crazy! This is like some kind of, like, I don't know, radio drama shit. What the heck?
I know, right?
1 hour later.
Diana shows up out of nowhere with her school.
I wouldn't put it past MacArthur. That sounds exactly like the kind of thing they'd do, to be honest.
But I don't understand why they would even do that.
Seems like you kind of riled him up a bit, so I guess it makes sense. If you kind of, you didn't intentionally stir the pot, but the pot got stirred is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is probably because we are really super cool.
Of course, anyway, nobody's doubting that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. She's just nodding.
Yeah, he gives you a little like
Obviously,
playful like
that's-
punch in the arm.
Yeah, and she laughs, and she says, anyway, they challenge us to performance battle, and Freddie got gum in my hair that morning, and I was late, and I forgot my clipboard, and
No!
I already wasn't... I know. Don't even talk to me about it. I still can't stop.
I think he's
Still
noticed that
can't
you,
stop.
when you have come to the warehouses for dance battles and such, he has noticed that you have a fascination with like looking over like the schedules on the board on the wall and like seeing what the stationery is and whatnot.
Yeah. I probably put the schedules on the wall.
Yeah, you
like,
put the
fancy
schedules there,
Yeah.
and he admires your handiwork.
Yeah, with the stationery and like little stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know. I can't believe I forgot it. I'm still kicking myself. Although that being said, that was the least of our problems as a group, but we agree that we're going to do a performance battle against them.
And then as you say this, like, it looks like kind of like a light bulb goes on in his head, and he, like, kind of digs in his, like, very large skater boy pockets for a phone. This gigantic phone. Everything is very big. And he pulls it out. Wait a sec. Wait, hold on. So this was Saturday, right? You saying?
Yeah.
Is that the thing? I think I saw a little bit about that. Was that you all?
Yeah, that was us.
And you see him, like, pulling up, like, idle Twitter or whatever. No. No. Whatever it is, Idlegram. That's what it was.
Yeah, Idlegram.
You see him pulling up Idlegram and, like, finding, like, a couple of the clips of, like, the performance and the explosion, like, in his history, like, oh, wow, that was a thing for sure. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. I think the worst part was, I feel like it's one of those things where we probably watched the video and she does a play-by-play. So she's like, oh yeah, and we were doing okay. And
yeah, like, look at those I taught you that move. You did it so perfect.
I mean, I almost did. Yeah, I almost did it perfect.
No, don't cut yourself short. You did so good at it.
Thanks. Well, yeah, it was going well until this, and then that part where Vivi's powers start to, we get hit by that wave, and then all this stuff starts to happen.
And this is that Valerie chick you mentioned?
Yeah, that's her. She's pretty cool, right?
I mean, I can't see very well. The pixels kind of are blurring the face a bit, but yeah, kind of, from what I can see.
Yeah. The worst part was there was this girl on the other team, and she had, like, a way nicer clipboard, and she was able to just, like... I know! It was a really nice clipboard. And she actually looks kind of dejected about it, because it was her thing, and then this other girl stealing her thunder, essentially, so she feels...
This, like fake plastic-looking girl, like, how dare she?
Yeah, well, and also, apparently she just has, like, mini stages that she can just make big wherever she wants, because her dad owns some fancy record company or whatever.
Now that you say it, I think I might have met this girl before. I think she was trying to get us to use some of that tech down here. When we told her that we had all the space that we needed, she kind of stormed out in a huff.
Good. Fuck her, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, fuck her. She had the tood, What do you even do with that?
You're so right.
She had that vibe, like she was talking down to everybody all the time.
Yeah, and who does that? Certainly not me.
Hey, you got confidence. Sometimes, maybe, goes a little too far, but I know you've been working on that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I do think I've done a pretty good job, making sure that everybody on the team is hyped up and that making sure that we're working together and everything. And I don't think I would have been able to do that before, before coming here and doing the competitions and everything and the dance battles. So that's true. But anyway, she's a bitch and I hate her.
I do too. Solidarity. And he pumps his chest a bit.
Yeah.
To hate whoever that bitch is.
Anyway, I remember Karen has actually been nothing but supportive and has hyped us up this whole time. And honestly, she's really chill. I bet you'd really get along with her, to be honest.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you should bring her by sometime. Although, wait, is she the girl who was in the middle of all, and he scrubs through the video to the, bit where there's just, a cloud of bees in the middle of the stage space?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not... Is she okay? She takes the kettle off the burner and she pours you a cup. She gives you a yellow cup and sort of directs you back out into the living room where the couches are.
I follow and take the cup with both hands and just smell it.
It has that nice chamomile kind of flowery scent to it. Very nice. Seems like she got a particularly good blend.
Sit down and do a couple small sips.
Yeah. After you sit down on the couch, she reaches for a remote and she switches the TV on. Do you mind if I show you something, actually?
No, go ahead.
And she flips the smart TV over to IdleTube, and she brings up a video from what looks like her personal channel. It's an unlisted video, and it is a video recording of the Fort McNally Idol Club from last year. It's dated. You can see it was dated October 2019. It looks like a Halloween performance, and you can see you don't recognize anyone on the stage. But based on sheer energy, you would bet that the girl in the center with the volumes and volumes of big poofy blonde hair is probably Amberlee, because she is just bouncing all over the stage with energy and playing to the crowd and smiling and singing and gesturing and dancing, and every now and then she'll let forth a big sunbeam out over the crowd that showers everybody in just these sparkles and rays.
She was something else.
I bet she still will be. She still wants to continue with this, as far as I know. Sadly, it's kind of rough for someone like her. She isn't a fan of how the industry works, and even though that industry doesn't really touch us as much in the high school circuit, it's certainly things like the SingStar tournament are trying to prepare us for it.
Yeah, I didn't really think that much about how the industry works, like Rain Shadow, and I don't know enough about idols.
They're kind of a conundrum, aren't they?
Yes, there's so much more underneath everything. Every aspect of it is so... You think it's just being on the stage, and no, it's the whole world.
It would have been weird enough even without the superpowers angle. Fame has always been just kind of a weird beast. Now we've got some literal weird beasts in with it as well. So what do you feel about that?
Well, it makes for an interesting world.
It sounds like she understands it was a mistake, right, bruh?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's cool, right?
I don't know. I don't feel cool.
I getcha. Sometimes stuff can be cool, but it doesn't, feel cool. You know what I mean, bruh?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
But yeah, even around the dance warehouses and stuff, this stuff happens all the time. I know we try to keep it kind of powers light around here. Before you got powers, I think maybe 2 or 3 people had powers, maybe. But there's always someone who wants to try something. That's the way that's the way the world is. That's the way people push things, I guess. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Do you remember that one asshole who, like, straight up tried to pile drive Lindsay into, like, the concrete? Bro, I wanted to kick the shit out of him so bad. You don't do that
Me
shit.
too. Oh, fuck
Especially
that
if they don't
guy.
have powers or anything.
Yeah. Why would you do that to just a regular person?
Yeah, like, people don't know their own... Wait, and he realizes what he's about to say and who he's saying it in front of and what powers that person has.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, it's
yeah.
okay. You're right. You're right. We
Like-
have to be responsible with them.
Yeah, but, like, I guess that's what I'm saying is, like, people, like, make mistakes and stuff. And, like, there was this other time, I don't know if you were here for this or not, but there was, like, a dude who had, like, phasing powers and, like, he tried to, like, pass his arm through another dude's arm and he got stuck. Like, two dudes had their arms fused together at the elbow. It was, like, some weird, scary shit.
Oh my god.
And when the phasing dude got his powers under control, the other dude still couldn't move his arm for like a week after that because like nerve endings and shit were still messed up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like those dudes, they're still cool with each other. They still hang out here. They know that it was just like a thing that happened. Like it was an accident. Accidents happen. A weird accident, but still. I don't know why he's turning Brooklyn all of a sudden. He's California. Apparently I can't hold that accent for very long.
Maybe he's just Canadian and he interchanges them.
He was never from California.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, her shoulders sag, and she's like, yeah, you're right. And on top of that, I think the one thing I learned was that we were not ready for that competition, but maybe now we know how to get ready for a competition.
Yeah, like, I think it sounds like you were in over your head. You were, someone came to you when you weren't ready, and there were a lot of things going on. There were a lot of bees going on. Anybody would be kind of like frazzled in that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah. And I mean, I punched Diana and it felt really good and I have no regrets.
Right on. That sounds like she deserved it if she's like spying on you and shit.
Yeah. I feel like she's nodding and like the wheels are turning because, you know, it's like old Angie's coming back.
And if I do know this, like, whoever this other girl is, the one that I've seen around here, if I see her around here again, do you want me to, like, say anything to her? Or, like, pass on he punches his fist a bit, pass on a message? Or, like, I don't know.
I mean, kick her out again. I just don't want her around.
Okay.
If she's gonna try and, like, sell us stuff, we don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want her to donate anything. We have what we need.
Right, but if she's in, like, this group that's, like, colluding with this other girl from your school or whatever, that sounds like there's more afoot than just, like, some sales of weird, shrinky, growy tech.
Yeah. And why would she even, like, when did she come and see you guys?
I don't know, it was, like, I guess a few weeks back? I think you were busy with something. I know there was stuff going on with your folks, so I didn't want to bother. But she did come around a few weeks back, yeah.
And she's narrowing her eyes. Well, it could be a coincidence.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know why she'd want to try and hawk her daddy's products towards a bunch of us who...
Yeah, like...
I don't know, let's be honest, we clearly can't afford it.
I think she said it was, like, the company's, like, Crimson Signal or something like that. It even sounds, like, kind of sinister and stuff.
She pulls out her cell phone and she just types Crimson Signal in, like, her notepad app just to look them up later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what to say other than I hope the people in your club are okay, too, after this. I think they'll understand that, like, this was all kind of everyone in over their heads and just try better not to fuck up next time, I guess.
Yeah, well, if they don't, I think I can try and help them with that. She punches the palm of her hand.
I bet you can.
That, in retrospect, that looked really threatening. That's not what I meant. I'm not going to beat them up. I'm only going to do that to Diana. Like, I'm not going to.
No, it's like a power move. I get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. So Kyle, like, springs himself back up to his feet at that, and he, like, offers his hand out to help you up if you need it too.
Yeah, she probably takes it.
Cool.
And, now that the wheels are turning, she's like, Kyle, I have to come up with choreography. Can you help me?
Anne sits down on the edge of the building, and she's just like, like a cat, she just like swats over one of the like beer bottles off the side of it and goes, I don't know, like the Valerie girl and Evangeline, Angie, whatever, they seemed cool, and like they were like the quote air quotes experienced ones. Then like that happened, and Queen Bee was like, they lost control, but they tried to do something about it. They ran out. They got Karen. Oh fuck, Karen. They got Karen out of there, and Jaiden, like, that kid's like a sun ray, and like even he was fucked up over this.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it sucks all around. But I think point is, I don't think it helps to like blame yourself entirely for it, or to even blame any one of them entirely for it. It seems like just stuff went to pot.
That it did. It did. And just kind of sits there for a second, like looking at her, like the ground and her shoes. Fuck, where do we go from here?
Forward? I guess. Where does anyone go?
Yeah, that's... Much I hate it, looks like that's where I'm gonna have to go.
And I'm gonna hold you to that. You're kind of like sitting on the ledge on the side of the roof, and he kind of like reaches up, because he has to reach up to put a hand on your shoulder. And he looks up at you and is like, 'cause, you know, I'm always here for you, and I like hanging out with you, and like breaking shit and working things out with you, but it can't just be me, alright? I know it was shitty what the others did to you before, and I'm glad to be here for you now, but I think if it's just us forever, like, it's just gonna be lonely for the both of us. I want you to like have other friends. I want you to have a support system. Like, heck, I was talking about my mom earlier. Like, that's one of the most important things she's taught me, I think, is just the importance of having people who are there for you, like, and more than just one person, like a family, kind of.
And this guy a real like angsty, like cheesy angst thing, but like Anne like literally can't cry because she just like can't anymore, like,
oh, no.
like physically, but like yeah, she looks at Drew and like you can tell like, and if this was a comic, it'd briefly flash back to like how she looked before, and then just flash it like where like to her having tears in her eyes, but now just flash back to how she is now, and she just like looks, pardon the pun, but stone faced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, wouldn't be my friend if you didn't give it to me straight.
Absolutely. And he smiles up at you and nods. I think he gets what you're feeling, even if you are just stone-faced.
And Anne stands up, like kind of looming over Drew, and then just kind of leans down and slowly just wraps two arms around and pull him into a hug.
Aww. You two hug for a good like 30 seconds to a minute or something, and he says quietly, like, I'm gonna keep being here for you, alright, big girl? And they are too. Once y'all talk to each other, work it out. I'm pretty sure.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
And actually, this very sweet moment is actually interrupted by the sound of, like, some glass being kicked across the road below. And you hear people kind of, like, cursing under their breath down, like, what the fuck is all this glass doing here? What the goddamn shit? And you get kind of a peek over the side. It's hard to see who's down there in the dark, but it actually looks a little like it looks like a small group of people, a few adults in dark suits, and one smaller person with kind of curly hair, and they're walking towards one of the other warehouses in the area.
Fuck. You see this, Drew?
Yeah. And he's like, he gives a peek and tries not to be seen, like he ducks down a little bit, like, there's not supposed to be anyone else around here. Those folks look way too prissy to be hanging around here. What's going on? And you see them walking towards a warehouse kind of like kitty corner across the way that's much bigger. It looks a little bit nicer than the one that you're on top of, but still kind of run down. And it's completely unmarked.
You're looking at Anne, and just kind of has like, it was like a comic writing under this speech was saying, it's not my problem, it's not my problem, it's not my problem. And then just to herself, she goes, it's my fucking problem. Drew, just stay here, okay? I'm gonna check it out.
You know I'm not gonna listen to you. And he comes with you wherever you're going.
Yeah, Anne doesn't even like, she's like, well, tried, and just kind of like make sure like he has a bat at least on him before she like worries she lets him follow.
Yeah, you both have your bats with you, and you sort of like, as quietly as both of you can, considering you're like a literal stone golem and a pretty like beefy teenage boy, getting down this like metal ladder as quietly as you can, but they're far enough away that it should be all right. And you kind of like you get a little closer and you watch them enter the warehouse, and you can kind of sneak up to the windows and get kind of a view inside where you see there's not too many lights on, but there are a couple, and it looks like you can see the group a little bit better now. Again, they are like just kind of like a trio of suits who are with someone you actually realize that you recognize. The curly-haired person that they are walking with is actually Ashley, who was with the Sagittaria girls on Saturday, the girl with the disgustingly perfect ringlets and the clipboard that's better than Angie's. And you see them inside the warehouse. They're talking with a small group of people. Some of them are in what look like mechanics jumpsuits, and a few other are in polo shirts with the letters CS embroidered on the front pockets.
Would I know what CS stands for?
Probably not.
Ah, shit, I know her really is my problem. Drew, do you have any idea what this cold ass shit is?
Not a clue. I mean, I don't think I think I might have seen some people going in and out of this warehouse before, but I never really thought much of it before. Not like people in like Men in Black suits. What the fuck is going on in there?
I'm gonna try and listen in, like kind of just like leaning over as close as I can without being seen, which would that be an assessed situation or something?
Yeah, that's probably good actually.
Right,
wow, using moves. Like actual moves in one of these sessions.
0 superior.
Yeah.
Oh shit, 11.
Nice.
First I'm gonna ask what here is the biggest threat, and I'm gonna ask what here can I use to figure out what's going on.
Alright, to figure out what's going on, I'm gonna say you spot what looks like, let's say like an air duct leading outside that looks like it would have better acoustics, like you'll lose some visibility on the situation, but you'll be able to hear what's going on, at least. So, like, you can still just barely see the figures in the window, but you'll be able to hear the conversation if you move over there. As for the biggest threat, let's go through what you hear in that case. So you move towards this air duct as you hear some of the speech going on, and you can hear kind of muffled words about talking. Well, you do hear the word Saturday, and you can see Ashley kind of pulling something out of a side bag that she's brought with her. It looks like a bunch of debris, but as they talk about, oh, it's a shame, what happened, but as they talk, somebody clicks something, and you see the debris growing back up to full size, and you can see it's the ruins of the pocket stage that was destroyed by Valerie, and it still looks like it did after the fight. It's completely ruined in pieces, but it was still able to grow up to full size. And the people around go like, oh, that's very impressive. I'm very pleased to see that the shielding on the growth component works better than we'd anticipated. It would be great if we can get the next model to use that shielding on the inner core as well. We just need to figure out how we can do that without also dampening the core's ability to do its work. And they all kind of like, oh, yes, rhubarb, about that. Like, and that's kind of what you catch from that conversation. The threat seems to be that there's something about this pocket stage, and there's a whatever core that has some ability that is not entirely clear, but could be more than people bargained for, possibly.
And upon hearing all this, just like kind of like shakes her head to herself. I am too dumb for this shit.
I feel that. Drew agrees with a big nod. That's the shit from Saturday, right?
Yup. Yeah, that's one of the girls one of the ones who pretty much embarrassed us and then got her shit knocked in.
Seriously? Holy shit. What are they doing? They look like a bunch of mechanics and eggheads. This is like new tech or something, right?
And this kind of like slumps, like, still listening in, but slumps to the side of the wall, kind of like going like, God damn it, what am I in now?
Do you think Anne would stick around to hear more, or do you think she would like leave it at that and try to report back?
She is gonna hear more, but she's also gonna pull out her phone and just click record. Like, it's probably gonna get like bare amounts because like it's recording from like 20 feet away, but she's not smart, so she's gonna try that.
Yeah, so you put your phone up to near the ventilation shaft, and you're not getting great recording, but you're still getting snatches of like talk about like inner core this and shielding that and shareholders, and you get one snatch towards the end where someone says this will be very good for Crimson Signal's business interests.
And like Anne just slumps her head because she's just aware that this is some supervillain bullshit she's in now.
And I look at myself in the mirror in my vanity and sort of take a deep sigh and kind of put on my my serious face and answer the phone. Yes?
Hello, Violet, darling. I'd been very much hoping to hear from you this weekend. I'm a little disappointed you haven't reached out.
Well, you may have heard I've been a little bit busy.
Yes, I've seen a few very interesting stories in the news this weekend. And I want you to know, Violet, that I am very pleased by what I saw.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Of course, I want to live up to your expectations as an idol.
I was, frankly, a little overwhelmed by what I saw. Overwhelmed with delight. I have no doubt that you will bring Rain Shadow into an era of success it has never seen before, and I'm very, very excited for you.
Well, of course, I will be performing as the lead in the group's next performance, so I would have to perform no less.
Yes, I could not have asked for better promotion for the event myself. This is wonderful. There will absolutely be people who visit the venue just to see the people who displayed such power.
Of course, and that's also why I wanted to reach out to you before, so we could get access to the venue through Rain Shadow's resources.
Yes, absolutely. Grace has told me that you are looking to tour the venue beforehand. That would be absolutely all right. Just let me know when you're thinking of going, and I will contact the venue myself to let them know. There is just one teensy thing I need to ask from you, though, about this, Violet.
Yes?
Remember that I gave you these powers for a reason. Anyone on the face of the earth can sing a little tune or dance a merry little jig. Giving a competent performance, that's expected. It's the super in SuperIdols that makes us who we are. It's what makes labels like Rain Shadow who they are. Audiences don't just come out for the music anymore. They're all there for the light show, for the sound and the fury, for the thrill of seeing all that we still don't know about our universe and this magnificent phenomenon that has blessed our world. You are a fountain of power now, Violence Violet. You've shown me that much. And during this performance, I need you to prove to me that you are grateful for it.
Of course. I want to be an idol more than anything, and you'll see that come through in the performance.
I expect nothing less, Violence Violet. And she is trying to shift your freak up and your savior down. Do you want to accept this or reject it?
Yes, I will accept that label shift.
Okay, you need to get to bed because I'm pretty sure you have school tomorrow as well, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I promise I'll call you again tomorrow, right after school.
Yay! Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
She probably has to take a bus. Ugh. But
Yeah, so he's walking you to the bus stop, and it's late at night. He knows how that all works. So as he's walking you there, he's like, well, I guess I wish the best of luck to you. I have all the faith in you. I really do, bruh. He's trying to shift your savior up and your danger down. He doesn't think you are a threat.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that.
Look at Amberlee in that video. She shines. It's a good thing that something like that is happening.
And I think the powers angle of it, it's dangerous, and yeah, I'll say it, we got hurt a few times, like kinda bad, but it was always worth it just to see just how much everybody smiled when it was working.
I think I get that.
I'm glad. I'm glad I could teach you that, random person who goes to my school.
Yes, I'm Alan.
Nice to meet you, Alan. I'm Karen.
It's a pleasure to finally talk to you.
Okay, I think that's our cue to leave, Drew.
Yeah, I think he agrees, and you both skedaddle before anybody can notice that you're there. And I think you get at least a few more warehouses away before you feel like you're safe. And Drew kind of breathes like, What did we just hear? Who do we tell about this? Like, is it even something we need to tell? Is this just like how business people do shit? Is this even illegal, or?
And puts a hand on Drew's shoulder to kind of calm him down. It's like, Drew, listen to me. You didn't see anything. Do not tell anyone you were there. Do not say anything. Do not put yourself in the way of this. Okay, I'll take care of it. I'll do something. You just.
I will agree. I didn't see anything. Not gonna agree that you're gonna do this shit on your own, but I will definitely not do anything to put us in danger.
Don't think I'm gonna be doing it on my own. And Anne's just like, Anne she opens her phone. She's not gonna send a message right away, but she means I'm gonna say just getting ready to drawing up Jaiden, Queen Bee, their two numbers, and then just hesitates for a second, but then gets Valerie and Evangeline's as well up.
I expect nothing less, Violence Violet. You can hear Mary smirk over the phone somehow as the phone beeps off.
And I just...
Thank you so much for listening to SuperIdols RPG. Our cast for today was Dana Lexa as Valerie Pearce, Teowind as Evangeline Blake, Maria Fanning as Ann Davil, Draconics as Jaiden Lott, Luca as Queen Bee, and ErynCerise as the GM. Special thanks go to today's featured VIP patrons, Wulfy, Amairylle, and LadyPlague. This campaign is played using Masks, a new generation, written by Brendan Conway and published by Magpie Games, with custom moves by ErynCerise and Zach P. Our ending theme for this episode is Lax by Lance Conrad, and is under license from Storyblocks.com. All incidental music and sound effects for this episode are licensed from Storyblocks.com, freesound.org, and the YouTube Audio Library. If you liked this episode, please consider liking and commenting on the YouTube upload, or leaving us a review on your podcasting platform of choice. You can also support this podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/ErynCerise. All SuperIdols patrons get access to behind-the-scenes content like Session After Talk, as well as our Session Zeros for all new player characters. VIP patrons get that, as well as early rough cut episode releases, rotating shoutouts in our ending credits, and access to bonus episodes. For this episode in particular, VIP patrons will be able to hear the complete extended versions of all the individual solo sessions for each character. SuperIdols RPG is now a proud member of Be Gay Roll Dice, a network for RPG podcasts made by LGBTQIA+ creators. You can check out all the great independent queer shows on our network at twitter.com/BeGayRollDice and join our Queer as Hell Discord at the link in the description. Today's featured show is The Eternity Archives. What do you get when you throw a buff lizard princess, a nerdy tiefling, and a sweet human office lady into an interdimensional library? The Eternity Archives, an actual play podcast where 3 friends save the multiverse by playing as many TTRPGs as possible. Thank you all for listening, stay well, and goodbye until next time.
You hear whispers, powerful voices that speak to you of destiny and danger and temptation. So let's go ahead then and jump into the 13th age.
Zen will tilt her head back, look up to the sky, and shout, "Linda?"
The Prince of Shadows. He gives us stuff to do, and in this case he wants us to get that amulet. It's on its way to the Lich King.
Meanwhile, Rill's following strangers through alleyways.
So I'm using a maneuver called Carve an Opening.
The escalation die goes up to 4.
I am going to cast Chaos Bolt.
I'm going to use Grim Intent.
And she rolled a 17 versus your AC.
That's the most exciting thing that could have happened.
Rill would probably just scream, just like in terror.
You feel a tearing in your mind like a rope has snapped, and suddenly you're adrift. When you open your eyes, you're alone. This is the Eternity Archives.
Find us online at theeternityarchives.com or wherever you prefer to listen.